Dylan's car, isn't it?
Dylan's Clubsport, yeah.
So we built this car from the ground up pretty much, and it was a normal Clubsport when it came in, so just not an S. We fitted aluminium subframe, haven't we?
The list's endless, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's had all the supporting mods for track use mainly, so he's had a lot of oil cooling mods.
A big radiator, oil cooler on the front from Racing Line, got the catch cam from Racing Line, Super Pro engine mounts, the alley subframe from the Clubsport S or an A3.
meth kit.
Yeah, it's got the meth kit, you fit that, didn't you?
Yeah, that's all on there.
So
Turbotechnic turbo.
V5 turbo.
Yep, V5.
Scorpion downpipe, a Krapovich exhaust. This runs different map sensors, runs 4-bar map sensors because we run higher boost. R600 airbox from Racing Line, and KW Clubsport 2-ways. And at the moment it's got the AP Radical 380mm Tom Wrigley kit on in the front for the brakes, but it's having the Pro 5000R Volkswagen Technic 362mm AP kit, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
which we've got the different hubs for. So.
Yep, so at the moment it's running RS3 hubs with full camera on the top mounts, but then these are basically a 10mm wider, so we'll go back to the normal hubs, go further in with the wheel, which will enable us to run an 18-inch wheel with a wider tyre without catching the wheel arch.
Yeah.
ECS tuning rear brakes, they're just the disc and bell basically with a DS2500 pad, I think.
I think they are really
Got the F6R Mintex front pads in, which is really good, and then obviously just in red with the big wing seats. And that's it basically, isn't it? It runs about 520 horsepower. With the meth, you can turn it up. We run the meth purely for keeping the car cool, because it's just mainly used for track, for Nürburgring, Spa, things like that. So.
With it being front wheel drive as well, it's obviously got a diff upgrade.
Yes, at the moment it's got the factory diff upgrade.
Yeah.
We're putting either a Drexler diff in it or possibly a gripper plated diff, but unfortunately nothing's available at the moment, so we're just waiting to see which is going to be available first, but it's more than likely going to be the Drexler diff. So, and that's pretty much it. So basically Connor's going to get the car ready for us now, fill it with meth and check it over. We'll go and put some fuel in it and then we'll take it for a drive, see what you think. What do you think so far?
It's comfortable, it's a lot quieter than mine, that's for sure.
I think everything's quieter than your car, mate, let's be honest. Straight through exhaust. This has got so it's a decat downpipe, and then this is actually a Scorpion one, and it's got an Krapovich, or a Krapovich, I think they call it, don't they?
Yeah,
Krapovich exhaust, titanium one, so it runs that. This is the quieter version, there's 2 times. So, and then intake wise, this runs the R600 airbox from Racing Line, and then a Turbotechnics intake hose. It's got the V5 turbo, and then water meth as well. It's a DSG. We've currently got no diff. It's got the electronic diff, so which comes with the car, but we put in either a Drexler, a gripper, or maybe, I'm not sure which diff we're going to put in yet. Can't get hold of one, that's the problem.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's so suspension wise, it's on KW Clubsport variant 3s. So, sorry, 2 ways, sorry, not 3 ways, 2 ways. So we'll put our foot down a little bit and just see what you think.
Bloody goes, doesn't it? And it grips really well. Flipping heck. Fair play, fucking. You don't hold back. Yeah, brakes are really good. I need some bloody upgraded brakes on mine. Flipping heck. No, this thing flies. Fair play. Wow.
It's a quick car, isn't it?
Rocket. Yeah, no.
We've got a van in front of us now.
Yeah, typical.
I think we even got up to 60 mile an hour then.
Felt like you got a bit of air time at one point over a little.
Of course, yeah.
Bump. Brilliant.
Nothing better than a bit of air time. So yeah, so you feel the car, and the chassis is so drivable, and you can use the DSG box to, if you're starting to get a little bit light on the car and it starts to spin, you can just click up a gear, which will take away that split second, will stop the wheel spin, engage drive again, and then you're not at such a higher power for the next gear straight away, which will then gain traction again and go. So you kind of, when you drive the car, you can drive it sort of half clear, rather than just revving the knackers out of it and spinning the wheels and losing control of the car, you can just flick up a gear. And it's the same with a manual, you know, with a manual you just go up a gear. So, but with a 4-wheel drive car, you would probably keep it in that same gear because you've got more traction. That makes it dance around with this car quite a lot more. So, but it's a fun car.
This certainly feels bloody planted. Like it really kind of goes where you want it to go.
It does. It is really good. And obviously the suspension, the brake. You know, this road's an extremely bumpy road, so it's a good road to sort of run the car and show you that, you know, even on a really bumpy road, the car it's a quick car, it's controllable, you know.
Bloody hell.
The brakes are good as well. Yeah.
The brakes are amazing. Right, the GoPro.
The GoPro mount.
Ah, amazing. No, that was quick. That was very, very, very quick.
So you can feel like how rapid the car is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna have to hold this hand out that way. Good brakes for sure.
Yeah, the brakes work really well, don't they?
Right, GoPro's mounted back onto the dash, fingers crossed. Secured enough this time. So weird because you watch these videos but you'll never get that sensation that you feel when you are actually in the passenger seat of I mean, I think it's even worse when you're a passenger. I mean,
oh definitely,
like, yeah.
For me it's alright because I know what I'm doing. You've no idea what I'm thinking.
No,
you're like, is he gonna stop now?
No, exactly with how good these brakes are as well. I was expecting you to brake a lot earlier than you actually did, but
yeah, but then when the cars pulled out in front further down, and then I cogged another gear, and you were just like, what?
I was like,
but then obviously we braked hard, and we were still miles away from because the brakes. You've got so much confidence with this car. That's what I'm trying to explain.
No, that's it. I couldn't do that in mine. I mean, I've got bloody stock brakes on it.
So we need to get you some bigger brakes on there, don't we?
Yeah.
Just keeps pulling.
It does.
That's third gear. It doesn't really spin, does it? You know.
No.
The intercooler is really the most important part, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because to get the air in the engine at the same pressure as it is coming out of the turbo and the coolest.
That's interesting. Well, I've certainly learned something new. I didn't know how you calculate sort of back pressure, and it's interesting that it's sort of the difference between what's coming in and what's out.
We tend to run when we test stuff. So if we test an intercooler, we'll put a pressure gauge on the outlet of the turbo, so we know what is coming out of the turbo and what's on the inlet. And I can tell you whether an intercooler is any good or not by the air temp coming out of it, and the back pressure inside it. So